Today in our 2017 Subaru WRX, we'll be having a look at and installing the CURT Class 1 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C11408. All right, here's what our hitch looks like installed. As you can see, it's tucked up nice and tight up against our rear fascia here and doesn't sacrifice much ground clearance, so we won't have to worry too much about backing in and out of driveways or going up inclines pulling into a garage. We have this nice welded on collar on the end of our receiver opening here to give it a nice finished appearance and also give it a little bit more strength. Welded onto the bottom of the frame and our receiver here, we have this angular plate, which is where our safety chain loops are for our trailer. These have a fairly decent size opening. We shouldn't have much problems hooking up safety chains for a small trailer to this vehicle. On the side of our receiver here is our industry standard 1/2-inch diameter hitch pin hole to secure any of our hitch mounted accessories that we may have. This hitch features a nice high gloss black powder coat finish, which blends in nicely with our vehicle. Now, we found most people like purchasing this hitch for using it for bike racks. And I can see why, because the amount of clearance we have around our fascia here and the distance from our pinhole to the rearmost part of the back bumper is very minor. So it pushes it further back here, giving us ideal clearance for most bike racks on the market. Now, this hitch features a 200-pound max gross tongue weight rating, which is the amount forcing down, and a 2,000-pound max gross trailer weight rating, which is the amount it's rated to pull. You'll want to consult with the owner's manual of your WRX before you attempt to tow any trailers. Now, if we are using this hitch for a non-trailer application, such as a bike rack or a cargo carrier, CURT does require the use of a stabilization strap to help support the load. We have those available on our website for purchase. What I really like about this hitch, compared to others on the market, is that we have plenty of clearance around our fascia, around the receiver opening, and it doesn't stick out past our fascia here. So we don't have to worry about running our ankles or our shin into it when we're loading cargo into our trunk. Now for a few measurements to better assist you in choosing any hitch mounted accessories you may need, such as a bike rack or cargo carrier. You're looking at about 10 inches from the ground to the top of the 1¼ receiver opening, and about 3 inches from the center of the hitch pin hole to the rearmost part of the back bumper. Now that we've gone over some features, we'll show you how to get it installed. All right, now in order to install our hitch, we need to lower our exhaust. But in our case, our exhaust here, we can remove just the rear section by undoing 2 nuts that hold the mufflers in place. This will be the easiest way of doing this. It's less hangers we have to remove, and we'll have a great access here with this out of the way. Okay, these are 14mm nuts. We'll use a wrench on the back side to hold the bolt in place, also 14. We'll do the same on the other side. Okay, now our vehicle has 2 exhaust hangers per muffler. One on the outside edge here towards the front of the car, and one on the inside edge towards the back. We'll lubricate these a little bit with some spray to help them slide off easier. We'll use a pry bar to pry them off. Then we'll take it down and set it aside. Once we have our muffler out of the way, we'll repeat the same process for the other side. All right, with our mufflers removed, we have access to our heat shields. They are both held in place with 4 10mm bolts. So we'll remove those. Now keep in mind, everything we're doing on one side of the vehicle, we're repeating on the other side. Okay, now on the back side of our heat shield, we have an L for left and an R for right. There's this dimple right here. We'll use this dimple as a guide to drill a hole. Okay, with that hole drilled, we can either use a pair of 10 snips and cut out a 1-inch diameter hole, or we can use a step bit. I'm gonna use a step bit. Okay, now that we have a nice round hole, it's nice and clean, be perfect for our hardware to go through. Okay, now on each frame rail, we have several plastic plugs. We need to remove the rearmost 3. To do that, just take a flathead screwdriver or trim panel tool, come up underneath it, pop it on out. Now our frontmost plug, we need to remove this one as well because this is our access hole that we're using. Okay, now we need to enlarge our access hole here a little bit so our hardware will fit through it. You can use a file. I'm gonna use a carbide grinding wheel here on a drill to enlarge it. Now to prevent any rust from occurring, we'll take some spray paint and spray paint around the hole that we enlarged. Okay, now we'll take our pull wire, stick it in the back hole, feed it in until it comes out our access hole that we enlarged. Take our spacer block, stick it on the wire, stick it in the hole, screw on one of our carriage bolts, stick the bolt in, and pull it on down through the hole. Now we'll go to our front hole here and repeat the same process. All right, now we can reinstall our middle plug here. We took it out just so we could see our hardware going through, making sure it wasn't getting snagged up anywhere. Our front one may be able to go back in, and it does. So we'll put that one in too. Okay, now we can reinstall our heat shield. Originally it had 4 bolts, but now it's only going to have 3 because we will not be using the one that goes in between the hardware for our hitch. Okay, now with an extra set of hands, we'll raise our hitch up into place and secure it with our flange nuts. Okay, now we'll use a 3/4 inch socket and snug down our hardware. Okay, now we'll torque over our hardware. T-mount specified in the instructions. Okay, now we can reinstall our mufflers. And that completes our look at and installation of the CURT Class 1 Trailer Hitch Receiver, part number C11408 on our 2017 Subaru WRX.
Click the link below to shop, learn more, or visit us at etrailer.com.